Excellencies and distinguished colleagues, I am honored to address you all today to discuss the impact of the U.S. Department of State's Trafficking in Persons Report, TIP report, on global awareness raising and prevention efforts. I want to thank Ambassador Chiel for inviting me to speak at this important event. It is crucial that we continue to work together to prevent and combat human trafficking, protect victims, and promote international cooperation. The TIP report serves as an important diplomatic and diagnostic tool in the global fight to end human trafficking. It raises the awareness of human trafficking and reflects our commitment to global leadership on this key law enforcement and national security issue. This year's report highlights the importance of international cooperation and partnership in preventing and combating human trafficking. Tackling this crime requires a global coalition that shares resources, information, and best practices to detect key and emerging vulnerabilities, increase victim identification, support victims and survivors across the globe, and meaningfully engage with the survivor community and other important stakeholders to inform our efforts. We continue to work closely with survivor leaders on our Trafficking in Persons reports. In the 2021 report, we highlighted and emphasized the importance of meaningful survivor engagement, and in our 2022 report, we had the honor of working with survivor leaders and experts in drafting an introduction essay focused on survivor engagement. For example, we documented increasing efforts by governments on consulting and engaging survivors to incorporate their input into national policies and anti-trafficking approaches. Partnerships like these are crucial in the fight to end human trafficking. Survivors are essential partners in the anti-trafficking movement as they possess and bring invaluable first-hand perspectives that can improve programs, policies, and strategies. Turning to overall government actions, we recognized 24 upgrades to countries' tier rankings across the 2023 TIP report based on increasing efforts that had tangible impact. Many of these upgraded countries advanced systemic improvements to strengthen effectiveness in anti-trafficking efforts. From these 24, there are two examples I would like to highlight, though I wish I could highlight more during these brief remarks. Denmark returned to Tier 1 as a result of government-wide efforts to prosecute more traffickers, convict traffickers for the first time in 3 years, and identify more trafficking victims. And the Seychelles was upgraded to Tier 1 after convicting the most traffickers the government has reported in a single year, prosecuting more trafficking cases, increasing funding for victim services, and opening and providing services at its first anti-trafficking shelter. We use the TIP report's analysis to identify and target important vulnerabilities and drivers of human trafficking and help shape our responses. For example, the Russian government engaged in conduct that substantially increased vulnerability to trafficking of certain populations. The government's forcible transfer of thousands of Ukrainian children to Russia, including some who were forcibly separated from their parents or guardians, greatly increased the separated children's vulnerability to trafficking. Moreover, Russia's aggression against Ukraine resulted in millions of refugees fleeing Ukraine and persons internally displaced in Ukraine, all of whom are highly vulnerable to trafficking. The scale and scope of such conduct raise real and serious concerns regarding significant potential risks of trafficking. In response, we continue to engage governments in the region and across Europe that are welcoming refugees from Ukraine to raise awareness about human trafficking and to encourage governments to integrate anti-trafficking measures into their emergency and humanitarian response mechanisms to prevent trafficking and protect any trafficking victims. The TIP report also guides our foreign assistance. We work to advance whole-of-government anti-trafficking responses and support capacity building to expand access to justice and protection to those most vulnerable. We coordinate with foreign governments and experts and urge them to proactively screen all vulnerable populations, especially migrants and returnees, for indicators of human trafficking, to strengthen and standardize procedures for referring all potential victims to specialized protection services, and to provide comprehensive support to trafficking victims to minimize their re-victimization and re-exploitation. Important progress has been made, but there is much more work to be done. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, traffickers have taken advantage of and adapted to new and emerging trends. Their increasing presence online has made it more difficult to prevent, detect, and prosecute. Governments must consider the implications for vulnerable populations that are increasingly exposed to a largely unregulated and unmonitored environment, and bolster trainings and resources to effectively detect and monitor fraudulent offers and investigate human trafficking online. Ultimately, the TIP report is a call to action. As Secretary Blinken said on the release of the 2023 report, we have a duty and responsibility to do everything in our power to hold traffickers accountable for their crimes, protect victims and survivors, and address any policies or systems that exacerbate vulnerabilities that traffickers target. I hope today's discussion helps raise awareness and build multi-stakeholder collaborative efforts to respond to and prevent trafficking in persons. Thank you.